Okay, let's see if we are live. Yes, we are. Marvelous. So, welcome everyone to iDTX 2022, the second of our instructional design tips exchange events. And this is, I fully appreciate, the boring start of day one session that is basically the equivalent to fire exits there and there, help others before yourself, and all that jazz. Except obviously if there's a fire where you are, just kind of deal with it locally, really. Don't follow those instructions. They might be completely wrong. So first of all, thank you so much for showing up. To be honest, you never know with an online event whether or not people will show up or whether or not you've just sold tickets to people who will catch recordings. And I can already see, considering it's 10 a.m. UK time, which I'm very aware, looking at some of the stats many of you are not on. And we already have 78 people here. That's awesome. Thank you for showing up. We've got 3 amazing days ahead of us, with the possible exception of my session on Saturday, judging by last time anyway. But this is a really interesting thing I want to talk about this morning, is the incredible amount of effort that a huge group of people have gone to make these 3 days happen. And it's obviously the speakers. I think sometimes it's underestimated how much time, effort, and energy speakers actually put into talks when they come to places like this. Especially here, where I make unreasonable demands, like it needs to be practical and useful and not just a sales pitch. So I really want to say thank you first and foremost to the speakers who agreed to give their time completely for free. They get nothing out of it other than getting to come and speak to you lovely people, which is great, but it's not money, for instance. So massive thank you to them for making this event possible. The next thank you obviously has to go to the people who make it financially viable to run this. As you know, iDTX doesn't have corporate sponsorship of any kind. It means that we don't have to worry about what anyone says as such, as long as it's true. True, I say, because there is such a thing as absolute truth. But I think it's really important to acknowledge the fact that there are people who make this possible. And first and foremost, the support for these events comes from the IDT YouTube channel. The people who subscribe there, come to our live streams, things like that. And in turn, the people who are on our Patreon and the people who buy things from the IDT store. So if you really enjoy these 3 days and you want to support us, you don't have to spend a penny. The easiest thing you can do is subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you already have, you're already supporting us, which is awesome. But those other options are there as well, should you want to. But the important thing is just if we get... It's YouTube. Subscribers, good. Likes, good. Helps with reach, etc., etc. I shan't bore you with the YouTubey rubbish. But that's the easiest, quickest, and totally free way to support these events as we go forwards. Because of course, with all you guys showing up today, we now know for sure, yeah, we probably should run a third one. Probably next year at this point. So just as a slight comparison, before I shut up and let other people talk about far more interesting things, I just wanted to draw a comparison that between July last year, when we ran the first event, and today, we're looking at almost double the number of registrations. And we're looking at registrations today from 37 different countries. So there is a phenomenal wealth of experiences and different job roles and different cultures here today. And I cannot stress enough how much you'll gain from using tools like the networking area, where you can have quick 3-minute conversations. You can message each other, both kind of broad hail in the event chat, obviously here in the stage chat, and also just sort of direct messaging each other. You can book meetings in with each other. So if you meet someone really interesting in the networking area, but that limits you to 3 minutes, invite them to a meeting, go and have a chat. You've also got 2 general discussion tables in the sessions area. Feel free to just utilize those as you want to. They're a bit like a kind of round table. I think up to 20 people can sit at a table at any time and just kind of talk about stuff. Really do, as much as all the speakers are going to be fantastic, there's going to be loads to learn. You've only got to look at the schedule to see that. But there is so much experience out there in the audience for these 3 days. So do make use of them. Finally, the sort of one request I would have is let us know what's going on. Be active in the chat. Engage with the speakers. I know a lot of them have set aside good chunks of time for Q&A. And if you have any difficulties, challenges, anything like that, message me on the platform. I'll do what I can to sort them out for you. And to be honest, that's about it. As I said, an amazing 3 days ahead. And yeah, I will let you all go. Start networking. Our first session starts in about another 20, 25 minutes. So until then, make the most of the platform. Grab a coffee and a croissant or a biscuit, or if you're in a different time zone, a glass of wine. That's cool too. I know I'll certainly be heading that way towards the end of each day. Anything you need, give me a shout. But if not, I will get off the stage and we will await our first speaker in the not too distant future.